So here we have a quick review of the Xperia X1. Since this phone's been out for a while, I'm not going to talk too much about its specs or what it does, because you can find that online yourself. But I've had this phone for about 4 months. Before it I had the Trio Pro, and then I had the Touch Pro before that. And so far I like this phone the best. And let's point out some things that I like and I don't like about the phone. First of all, it's really tough. So this phone's fallen many times. Like as soon as you put it in your hand, it really feels quite solid, and even the tilting mechanism is quite good, and it pretty much never opens in your pocket or anything. Some of the other things I really like is obviously the headphone jack. That really makes it nice because I use it for an MP3 player pretty much every day. And this phone has excellent battery life. For example, if you're only reading emails and basically using it as a regular phone and sending texts, it can easily go 2.5 days, no problem. And if you're using it as, say, for 4 hours a day as an MP3 player, checking your emails, sending texts, and doing all this stuff and occasionally browsing, it'll still very easily make it through the day. And I found it very rarely that it has actually run out at the end of the day. It is true, though, that depending on what ROM you have, the battery power does vary, and some ROMs do have a hard time making it through the day just by themselves. But throughout my experience, some of the good ones I've found is the Touch It one. This is one of the Touch It versions. It's the 4 something. In fact, I actually like it the least of all the Touch versions. Also, the PC Tech ROM was very good, and that new Firestorm one is quite good as well, but I haven't found it to be quite as good on the battery life. Yeah, with the flexibility of the ROMs, this phone really becomes quite fast, and actually this ROM is not the fastest, but it's still quite good. There's very little lag when going between programs, and so as far as it's been really handy, I keep the old Windows Mobile interface so I can just pan, go up and down, see, open music player. Yep, there you go, and I can scroll through some music and play whatever I want. One of the bad things about this phone is actually the exterior speaker is pretty poor. So for a speakerphone, it really does not work that well. I usually just keep one headphone in my phone, and I listen to music pretty much all day while I'm driving around or working, and if someone calls, I just talk into the phone while listening through the headphones. Some other things to point out, see, the camera is pretty good, although it really, on all those smartphones, the camera really slows down the phone. Like, the camera is by far the most intensive application, and if you accidentally open it by clicking on something and you have multiple things open, it just completely, like, almost crashes the phone sometimes. See, the GPS on this phone is absolutely fantastic. Most of the time I'm able to get between 7 and 9 GPS satellites within like a minute of searching. I've tried Google Maps, iGo 8, and TomTom, and they all work well. Also, after using it for a while, the buttons could be better, but they're really pretty good. They're better than a lot of the variations of other phones, such as the Touch Pro. I mean, the buttons on that were kind of a joke, and I mean, the Trio Pro is obviously a phone that has a lot of buttons, so it can't compete in the same category. The keyboard, I must say, is one key. It really took me a little while to get used to it. It looks really nice, but when you use it, you realize it's a little different because the keys require very little press to press it down, and sometimes when you're typing fast, yeah, it almost feels as if you didn't press a key. But after about 3 weeks of using it, I actually finally got over that, and now I can type on it extremely quickly. But it has been rather a long learning curve, I'd say. Also, let's see. I need to cut my nails right now, but the fingernail really gets in the way of typing on this keyboard. So, like, as soon as you grow any nails at all, it becomes very difficult. However, obviously, navigating the standard Windows Mobile interface, having a slight fingernail is pretty much the best thing you could have. Other than that, I would just say this phone has great battery life. It's tough. It's a real road warrior out there. And also has the LED light, so if you're hiking somewhere and you got your GPS while it gets dark. You can use it as a flashlight, and it's extremely bright. The radio through this is not the X1A, so it only has the radio through the headphone, and that works relatively well. If you're moving a lot, it's a little staticky, but if you're sitting in one spot, it works quite well. Other than that, it's a pretty damn nice phone, and for $200 to even $300, you can pick it up these days on Craigslist or eBay. And batteries, I looked on eBay, are something like $5 to $7 for the China-made batteries, which is pretty good. And so far I've only had the battery that initially came with it, and it's been holding out pretty well. I actually have not needed a second battery. Also, the fact that it's a standard mini USB makes it incredibly easy to charge, and most of the time I actually just plug it into my laptop to charge. I don't even use the charger dock. And I got an 8 gig micro SD, and it's a great MP3 player as well. But I guess that pretty much concludes it.